Hello everyone, welcome back to an episode of Cooking with Mr. Lehman. Today we're going to be talking about our mother sauces. So there are 5 mother sauces. These are Bechamel, Velouté, Espagnole, Hollandaise, and then our tomato sauce. So these are all your base sauce for making tons of different sauces, and you can add them to dishes as well, just as they are. But by adding a few simple ingredients, they become many different sauces, and those are known as daughter sauces. So starting with bechamel, which is a white sauce, we will need 2 tablespoons of butter, 2 tablespoons of flour, 1 1/4 cups of milk, and some salt and pepper. First, we are going to melt the butter in a saucepan, and then add in the flour to cook for about 2 minutes. Stir constantly so it doesn't brown. Add the hot milk and bring the mixture to a boil. So the milk I'm adding has already been heated up in the microwave for about a minute. Then add your salt and pepper and lower the heat and cook for a few more minutes. Moving on to our velouté sauce. This is the same as our bechamel, except it's going to be using a white stock instead of milk. So a white stock can be anything like chicken stock, vegetable stock, or even some sort of fish stock. First, melt the butter, then add the flour and stir constantly until smooth, about 2 minutes. Then, 1/2 cup at a time, incorporate the stock. Bring to a boil and add salt and pepper. Turn down the heat and simmer for about 10 minutes. So for our Hollandaise sauce, we'll need to set up a double boiler. To do this, we'll set a glass bowl on top of a saucepan filled with about 1 inch of water. In our bowl, we are going to add 3 egg yolks and a tablespoon of heavy cream. Stir, don't beat the eggs, and then place on to our double boiler. The water should be simmering, but not boiling. Continue stirring until the mixture is thick like heavy cream, and then now we will add our butter. If our water is too hot in the Hollandaise sauce, that might cook the eggs, and that's not what we want. So our butter has been melted and cooled to room temperature. This is also known as clarified butter because we took out the milk solids. So remove the glass bowl from the heat, and then we can add our butter. With one hand, we will pour in our butter while we stir with the other hand. Pour the butter very slowly. When all the butter has been added, add the lemon juice just a couple drops at a time. Finally, add a dash of salt and cayenne pepper. Moving on to our Espagnole sauce. This is a classic brown sauce typically made from brown stock, mirepoix, and tomatoes. And it's also thickened with a roux. So, for our sauce, we will need 1 small carrot, coarsely chopped, 1 medium onion, a 1/2 stick of unsalted butter, 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour, 4 cups of hot beef stock, 1/4 cup of canned tomato puree, 2 large garlic cloves, 1 celery rib, 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper, and 1 bay leaf. Cook the carrot and onion in the butter in a heavy saucepan over a medium heat. Stir it occasionally until golden, about 7 to 8 minutes. Add the flour and cook the roux over moderately low heat, stirring constantly until medium brown. So add the hot stock in a fast stream, whisking constantly to prevent lumps. Then add your tomato puree, garlic, celery, peppercorns, and the bay leaf. Bring this to a boil, constantly stirring. Reduce the heat and cook at a simmer, uncovered, stirring it occasionally until it reduces to about 3 cups. This will take you 45 minutes. Finally, pour the sauce through a fine mesh sieve to get out all of the solid pieces, and then you have your sauce. So our last sauce is a tomato sauce, or also known as sauce tomate. For our sauce, we are going to need 1 1/2 ounces of salt pork, finely chopped, 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter, 1 small carrot, 1/2 of a medium onion, 1 bay leaf, some thyme, 3 tablespoons of all-purpose flour, 2 1/2 pounds or 2 28-ounce cans of crushed tomatoes, 2 cups of beef stock, 1 clove of garlic, some pinches of sugar, and then finally kosher salt and freshly ground pepper. So to start, we're going to preheat the oven to 350 degrees. In a medium wide pot over medium heat, add the salt pork and butter and cook, stirring occasionally until the fat begins to render. This will take you about 2 to 3 minutes. Add the carrots, onion, bay leaf, and thyme and cook, stirring regularly until the onions are translucent. Stir in the flour and continue cooking, stirring frequently until the flour lightly browns. Then stir in the tomatoes and stock and bring it to a boil. Add the garlic and sugar, Season lightly with salt and black pepper. Then transfer to the oven and cook until the vegetables are very soft and the sauce is thickened and concentrated, about 90 minutes. Remove the sauce from the oven, let it cool slightly, and then either force the sauce through a fine mesh sieve or blend with an immersion blender. For pretty much all of our sauces, we used what's called a roux. A roux is equal parts butter and flour and is the thickening agent in our sauces. Some of the sauces needed a mirepoix, which is usually a mixture of chopped vegetables containing onions, carrots, and celery. The mirepoix adds flavor and also some texture. For our hollandaise sauce, we didn't use the roux to thicken it. Instead, we used what's known as a liaison, which is a mixture of egg yolks and heavy cream. Alright, so those are all of our sauces. Thank you for joining me for this episode of Cooking with Mr. Lehman, where we talked about mother sauces, and I'll see you next time.